Leo, radiant soul of the Zodiac, today's message for you is clear and divine. A beautiful surprise is coming on July 8th, and it will touch your heart in ways you didn't expect. Maybe you felt it too, a strange pull in your chest, a whisper from the universe that something is shifting, even if you can't quite explain it. If you're watching this video right now, it's not an accident. Your energy called this moment in. Your higher self brought you here for a reason, and you're exactly where you need to be. This isn't just another astrology reading. This is a cosmic alignment, a soul contract being fulfilled in real time. Because something is about to happen in your life, and it will be equal parts emotional, liberating, and breathtaking. For some Leos, this surprise may come in the form of a heartfelt goodbye, the end of something you once held on to, now making space for what your soul truly needs. For others, it could be a proposal, not just romantic, but a sacred invitation to step into a deeper level of commitment, passion, or purpose. And for many, it may arrive as an unexpected financial breakthrough, a return, a reward, a miracle knocking at your door. And Leo, it won't come when you're chasing it. It comes the moment you open your heart and surrender your timeline. The universe does not delay, it aligns. Here on Eternal Mindfulness, this is more than a reading, it's a reconnection to the part of you that remembers your light, your courage, and your divine role in this lifetime. Every sign we read, every message we share is designed not just to predict but to activate. So I invite you to breathe deeply with me. Feel into your chest. Can you sense something already shifting? Because today is not about waiting to see what will happen. Today is about remembering that the light you've been searching for has always been within you. And on July 8th, it finally gets reflected back to you through a surprise that will heal, awaken, and transform. Thank you, truly, for showing up. Your presence here is a sacred exchange. Every like, every thoughtful comment, every time you subscribe, you're not just supporting this channel, you're co-creating a spiritual space where messages like this can find those who need them most. And Leo, I want to ask you, what energy do you think brought you here today? What part of your soul whispered, "Watch this now"? Take a moment and comment below with the number or phrase you feel most drawn to in this moment. It's a way to affirm your readiness, and to claim the energy that's already making its way toward you. You are not here by chance. You are here because a door is opening. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of this video. What the universe is revealing is beyond beautiful. You've weathered storms others never even saw. You've stood back up in silence while the world moved on, carrying wounds behind your strength that no one noticed. But Leo, the cosmos has been listening. Every silent act of perseverance, every tear you wiped away alone, every time you chose kindness over anger, they haven't gone unseen. Today's energy doesn't ask you to prove yourself again. It doesn't require more striving or more perfection. Instead, it gently invites you to soften, to receive, and to allow. There is a sacred truth. When you stop chasing the light and begin opening to it, that's when it enters. In this moment, the shift is not external, it's a recalibration of your inner field. It's not about manifesting something new through force, but rather becoming the version of yourself that no longer resists what's already arriving. You don't have to hold your breath or brace for impact anymore. The change that's coming doesn't want to break you. It wants to reveal you. Breathing is the first act of trust. So when you inhale now, imagine you're welcoming in not just air but possibility. And as you exhale, let go of the illusion that you must hold everything together to be worthy of love, support, or miracles. That breath alone is an offering. It says, I surrender what no longer serves me so I can receive what does. Everything in the universe operates on frequency. Like a musical instrument out of tune, when we carry guilt, fear, or the heaviness of past burdens, we distort the song our soul was meant to sing. But when we allow ourselves to release the inner noise, even briefly, clarity returns. A stillness emerges. And within that stillness, things start to shift. Not because we forced them to, but because we finally got quiet enough to hear what was always being offered. We often think that miracles are thunderous, dramatic, impossible to miss. But more often, they arrive quietly. In a text message you weren't expecting. In a pause that makes you feel safe. In a face you recognize without explanation. And sometimes, what first appears as an ending, a goodbye, a lost opportunity, a door that slams shut, is actually the universe creating space for something far more aligned. The blessing isn't always in the thing itself. Sometimes it's in what the loss makes room for. When the mind no longer demands answers, the heart becomes receptive. And this is when the beauty of life truly unfolds. There is a teaching passed down for generations that the greatest transformation does not come from fighting the storm, but from standing still in it long enough to understand why it came. And today, if you've reached this point in the video, I believe you're being asked to do just that. Pause. Breathe. Choose to feel instead of fix. Let the frequencies move through you instead of trying to control their direction. And ask yourself, have I been trying so hard to build my future that I forgot to allow it to arrive? Let this moment be your answer. Today's surprise doesn't need you to chase it. It only needs you to recognize it. It will come in the moment you drop resistance and open your palms, not to grasp, but to receive. This shift may be invisible to the world. But to your soul, it will feel like the beginning of everything you've been waiting for. When the cards appear, they don't speak in words, they whisper through symbols, sensations, and memory. Today, Leo, the energy surrounding you is quiet but powerful, like the hush right before a new chapter begins. You may not see the pages turning, but if you pay attention, you'll feel the shift in your chest, in your choices, in the timing of events that are suddenly no longer random. This trio of cards is not just a prediction. It is a mirror, reflecting where your soul stands right now and what door is opening before you. The Knight of Pentacles arrives first, slow, steady, almost unnoticed by the impatient mind. But this card is a blessing in disguise. He is the embodiment of trust built over time, of promises kept in silence. If you've been waiting for financial stability, a career offer, or a gesture of support that actually holds weight, this is your sign. It's not flashy, but it's real. Like the farmer who plants the seeds long before the rains arrive, this energy honors what you've nurtured quietly. There is someone approaching, or perhaps you yourself are stepping into this role, dependable, grounded, and ready to deliver. The abundance that's coming is not accidental, it's been moving toward you, inch by inch, through the unseen work you've done. Your patience is not empty space. It's been preparation. And yet, on the emotional level, the Eight of Cups stirs the waters. At first glance, it might look like loss, but look again, it's a sacred departure. This is not weakness. It is the deep wisdom of knowing when something has given you all it can. Sometimes, real strength is not in holding on, but in releasing with love. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer resonates, or an identity you've outgrown. Maybe it's simply the quiet realization that staying in the same emotional loop won't bring you what you've been seeking. Walking away is not the same as giving up. It's choosing a different mountain to climb, one that finally aligns with who you're becoming. And then the lovers. So often mistaken for simple romance, this card is far more than that. It is the moment of divine decision. It's the space between two paths, and the recognition that your heart already knows which one is true. You may find yourself at a crossroads between past and future, between comfort and calling, between who you were and who you're meant to be. This could be a literal proposal, a new love, or a rekindled bond that now arrives in its highest form. But it can also be a decision that reshapes the way you love not just others, but yourself. There is a teaching about choosing the middle way, not because it's safe, but because it is clear. The heart that is quiet enough to listen will always know when to stay, when to go, and when to leap. These cards ask you not for answers, but for attention. Not for urgency, but for presence. So, Leo, I invite you to tune in now. Which card speaks most clearly to your current season? Is it the patient builder? The courageous seeker? Or the lover at the threshold of something sacred? Take a breath and trust your intuition. Then, comment below with the name of the card you feel most drawn to. This is not just a reaction, it's an act of alignment. It's how you say yes to the story your soul is already writing. Remember, your next chapter doesn't require permission. Only awareness. Only a soft yes from your spirit. Let these cards be your guide and your affirmation. Money, health, and work are not just practical concerns, they are threads in the larger tapestry of your soul's journey. And today, Leo, those threads are being gently rewoven. The energy that surrounds you right now carries the quiet rhythm of things returning not as they were, but as they were always meant to be. There is something beautiful about a cycle completing itself, especially when it comes to finances. What was once lost, delayed, or withheld is now making its way back to you. Not out of obligation, but out of karmic alignment. A payment, a settlement, an offer, or even a debt long forgotten may come full circle. And when it does, it may not be loud or flashy. It may be as simple as an email, a deposit, or a message from someone you thought was gone. The emotion that follows might surprise you, not excitement, but deep relief. That gentle kind of joy that comes when a weight you've carried for too long finally lifts. But this isn't just about money. It's about the restoration of trust. Trust in timing, trust in effort, and most of all, trust in yourself. In teachings passed down through generations, there's a reminder that what you give with clarity and compassion always finds its way back, not always through the same hands, but through the same law. So if your energy around money has been strained, if you've been holding your breath and counting every penny, let this be your invitation to breathe again. Not recklessly, but faithfully. Use what comes in to nourish, to reinvest in yourself, to quietly expand. Now, work. There's something subtle moving in your professional world, not a dramatic overhaul, but a meaningful upgrade. A conversation in passing, a compliment that sticks longer than expected, an invitation that feels casual but carries real opportunity. You're being seen, Leo, more than you realize. Someone in your environment has been observing your consistency, your leadership, your depth. And soon, they may present a role or a responsibility that elevates you. This isn't about titles. It's about alignment. About stepping into the version of your career that mirrors who you've become, not who you used to be. Accept the challenge when it comes. Even if it feels sudden, know that the seeds for this moment were planted long ago. In all those days you chose excellence when no one was watching. But none of this can bloom if your inner foundation isn't strong. So let's talk about your nervous system, the quiet core of everything. Sleep is not laziness, it is sacred integration. Rest is not avoidance, it is preparation. When your body is constantly in alert mode, your spirit cannot hear subtle guidance. So protect your peace. Say no to what depletes you. Create rituals that restore you. Even 10 minutes of stillness each morning can return you to your center. A warm bath at night, soft music, a digital detox, these are not luxuries, they are the gateways to clarity. And if you've been waiting to make a big decision, know this: no good choice can emerge from a frayed nervous system. Clarity comes not from control, but from calm. The truth is, your life isn't separate compartments. Your money, your body, your purpose, they all reflect the same vibration. So if something is shifting in one area, trust that it's part of a larger orchestration. Let your life become a place where peace is not postponed, where action comes from intention, and where receiving is just as sacred as giving. This is your moment to welcome back what was always yours, with steady hands, with a rested mind, and with a heart that finally knows how to receive without resistance. Love, family, and soul connections are not simply experiences, they are the landscapes through which our inner growth is revealed. And for you, Leo, this part of the journey is opening like a quiet sunrise, slowly, gently, but with undeniable warmth. When you pay close attention to the subtle energies moving around you now, you may notice something different in the way people are showing up. Eyes that linger a moment longer. Conversations that feel more rooted. Encounters that stir something deeper than words can express. These are not coincidences. They are karmic echoes, reminders that some bonds do not begin in this lifetime but are simply continuing where they left off. If you've been walking alone for some time, you may feel the quiet ache of longing, not just for company, but for resonance. For a presence that doesn't require explanation. And now, someone may appear who carries a frequency that feels achingly familiar, as if you've crossed paths before, perhaps not in time, but in truth. It won't be rushed. The connection may start slowly, in small shared silences, in the unspoken comfort of simply being near. But its depth will be undeniable. This is not about chasing intensity. It's about recognizing alignment, a kind of harmony that the soul remembers even when the mind can't explain. For those who are already in a relationship, this moment asks for honesty. Not the kind that points fingers, but the kind that opens doors. A heart-to-heart conversation may come, and with it, a turning point. This isn't meant to break you apart, but to bring you back to the essence of why you chose each other in the first place. Sometimes, love evolves. It demands growth, new agreements, a renewal of vows spoken or unspoken. And for some, this may even be the moment when a commitment deepens, a proposal, a shared vision, a bold leap into the future together. Remember, true love doesn't ask you to shrink yourself to fit. It invites you to rise, to speak, to meet each other fully. Within the family sphere, healing may come in unexpected forms. A sibling who once pulled away may reach out. A parent who struggled with words may now offer presence instead. Or perhaps you are the one who chooses to release an old hurt, not because you were wrong, but because you are ready to stop carrying its weight. Like water smoothing a jagged stone, time and presence soften what once felt immovable. And sometimes, the smallest gestures, a phone call, a meal shared, even a smile left at the door, hold the power to dissolve years of distance. There is a simple teaching: when you tend to your relationships with awareness and compassion, the world reflects that same kindness back to you. No connection is perfect. But the ones that last are those we return to with intention, again and again. Not because they are easy, but because they are real. So, Leo, let your heart remain open. If someone's gaze stirs something ancient in you, allow yourself to feel it without fear. If your partner speaks their truth, receive it with grace and speak yours too. If a bridge can be rebuilt in your family, let your first step be quiet but steady. The energy right now is asking you to choose connection not as obligation, but as a gift. And when you do, you may just discover that the greatest surprise this week is not what arrives from the outside but what awakens inside of you. The language of numbers and color is often quieter than words, yet more exact. While the mind seeks logic and proof, the heart responds to subtle resonance, and today, Leo, that resonance is asking you to tune in a little deeper. Numbers don't just measure time or currency. They hold frequency, echo patterns that speak directly to your energy field. The numbers surrounding this moment are not just signs, they are invitations. Each one is like a door slightly open, waiting for you to step through and remember what's already been set in motion. The number 8 arrives with quiet authority. It is the shape of balance and flow, two circles stacked like the infinite loop of giving and receiving. When it appears, it reminds you of your ability to create stability through intention and consistency. But even more than that, it's a nudge to stop undervaluing what you've built. Success isn't only the final result, it's also the energy you invest daily, the choices you make when no one is watching. And when 8 shows up beside 888, there's a much louder whisper: the abundance that once felt delayed is finding its way to you. Not because you chased it, but because you became the version of yourself that could receive it fully. Then comes 17, a number of awakening. It holds the energy of insight, that moment when something finally makes sense, not in your mind, but in your bones. It's the kind of knowing that can't be explained, only experienced. If you've been wrestling with confusion, uncertainty, or a sense of spiritual restlessness, this number offers reassurance. What you're seeking clarity about is already becoming clear inside you. The path is not revealed all at once, but in glimmers like moonlight on water. You don't need to have the whole map. You only need to take the next step with trust. Number 21 brings a gentler reminder. It marks the completion of a cycle, the closing of a loop that has run its course. But not all endings are meant to be mourned. Some are simply the natural release of what no longer needs to be held. In the teachings of presence and mindfulness, this is the principle of non-clinging, allowing things to come and go without resistance. When 21 appears, it's an indication that something you've been holding onto, a story, a habit, even an identity is ready to be set down. And in doing so, you create space for something far more aligned to enter. Then we meet 33, a master number of compassion and higher protection. It does not promise an absence of difficulty, but it does offer a deeper perspective. If you felt alone in your decisions lately, this number is a reminder that support is always present, perhaps not through people, but through moments of clarity, synchronicity, and peace in unlikely places. Sometimes, just knowing you are not walking this path alone changes how you walk it. And now, we shift to color. Ruby orange, the hue of warm firelight and blooming petals, carries the essence of both passion and softness. It speaks to the heart and the root, love and grounding. When you wear it, surround yourself with it, or even imagine it in meditation, you activate your inner flame. Not a flame of urgency, but of embodiment. It reminds you that attraction and magnetism begin from within. That what you are ready to receive often finds you not when you seek it desperately, but when you relax into your worth. So as you move through this day, carry with you the affirmation not just in words, but in breath, in posture, in decision. Allow the most beautiful thing to come to me without delay, without doubt, and without apology. Say it not to convince the universe, but to convince the parts of yourself that forgot how loved and supported you already are. This is not about hoping. It's about allowing. It's not about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you've always been. Leo, if you've made it to this moment, it means something deep inside you has already begun to shift. You didn't find this message by accident. The universe doesn't work through randomness, it works through resonance. That quiet part of you that's been yearning, waiting, wondering if life could feel more magical. That's the part that brought you here. And now, all I ask is that you allow what you've heard today to land. Not as just information, but as activation. You see, beautiful surprises don't always announce themselves with fireworks. Sometimes, they arrive softly in the stillness of knowing, in the release of doubt, in the choice to trust again after disappointment. The question isn't whether you're worthy. That's already been answered. The real question is, will you let your heart be open long enough to receive what's been trying to reach you? So take a moment. Ask yourself, truly, have I been so focused on controlling the outcome that I've closed the door to possibility? What would change if I surrendered not out of weakness, but out of wisdom? What if the thing I've been waiting for has been waiting on me all along? You are not broken. You are not behind. And you are certainly not alone. This message, this energy, this space we've created together, it's here to remind you that you are supported, seen, and so deeply loved. But none of that matters unless you claim it. Unless you decide to embody what your higher self already knows, that the life you long for begins with a single, quiet yes. So if your heart feels even a flicker of recognition, if your chest feels just a little lighter than when you started this video, I invite you to comment below right now and write, I welcome the beautiful gift that is coming my way. Let that be your declaration. Let that be the moment you stop waiting and start allowing. And if someone you love is moving through uncertainty, please consider sharing this video with them. You never know whose day you could change with one small act of kindness, and as we know, the light we give always finds its way back to us. If this message touched something within you, if it reminded you of the power and softness you hold, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness, and tap the notification bell so you never miss the moments that matter. Because this community, this sacred space, was built for hearts like yours, open, brave, and ready. The door is already open, Leo. The only thing left is for you to walk through it. So, will you?